Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you the 10 most game-changing mods in Baldur's Gate 3's mod manager. Now each of these mods has the potential to totally transform your next playthrough and offer extremely unique experiences in the game, so I'll be breaking down each of these mods, showing off why I think they're game-changing, and giving a little bit of a detail around them. So the first one I want to highlight is the Ancient Mega Pack plus Random Loot mod made by Paramanov. This mod is crazy because it adds 600 new items into the game. So if you're just traveling around looking for some new loot, you'll just find new stuff all over the place. What's also cool about this mod is it actually will it adds in those 600 new items, but it randomizes all of the loot everywhere. So you don't have to rely on getting like radiating orb gear in Act 1. Everything will be randomized, allowing you to play through the game and get extremely new experiences, because anytime that you get items, you have to just roll with that. If you get an item that just doesn't fit your build, you do have to use it. So, I mean, it just completely changes how you play the game, because you're forced to just pick up with whatever you get and run with that. So with this mod, it transforms the gameplay into a roguelike adventure. It's not like Trials of Tav, and I'm not including Trials of Tav in this list. It's a very game-changing mod, and I love it, but it's not in the mod manager, and it's very different from a lot of these mods. These are all intended for playing through the game normally. So it makes every single playthrough random because you get all this different gear. But what's also cool about it is it'll randomize the items that you get from quests. So typically you might get just like one item from a quest, but now it's going to put a bunch of items. You can pick a multitude of them. It's not overpowered either. Like, a lot of these items feel like they could have been made by Larian themselves. There's also a disenchanting and crafting gear setup, so you can disenchant, you can make new gear. You can also combine dust to make them more powerful and forge astral crystals to upgrade your weapons. And it comes with a bunch of items that you can all see here, which just completely changes the game. So yeah, what's nice about this is no matter what, when you're going through the game, you're going to find something new. You can run through this game 100 times, and every single time it's going to be completely different. And that's what I think works best about it. It also has some really nice looking weapons. You can see here the Blazing Rapier, which does just pure fire damage and gives advantage in dexterity saving throw checks for like Fireball. So that's pretty cool. It's definitely interesting because you get to really customize your builds depending on what you get gifted, I guess, with the items. And with this, it keeps vanilla. You can also, I guess there's going to be future mods that'll keep the vanilla loot intact and just add in a bunch of these items. So the mod creator is constantly working on new updates. And you can see here, there's a bunch of changes that they make to this, and they're constantly updating it. So this mod's fantastic. It adds even in some cool things like the astral plane crossbow, which will just suck all the enemies in there, and much more. 600 items. You can add this in a run that's on the go or for a brand new run, which I would recommend doing. So yeah, the Ancient Mega Pack plus REL is fantastic. You can just picture it. You're in Act 3 and you're putting your build together, and then you go find a new piece of gear that totally transforms your build. That can be a whole lot of fun because it just gives you new experiences. Some of the weapons are very, I wouldn't say brokenly strong, because there's some items in the base game that are very powerful, like the Baldur and Giant Slayer and many more. So yeah, it totally enhances the game and makes for much more exciting experiences. So that is number one on our list. But number two that we got here is the D&D expanded mod. This mod is made by Buko Moon and 1D10. Now, what does this all do? It brings in a bunch of race mods. Now, I'll cover them in detail at the end of this video, but what it brings in a nutshell, so it gives you the half giant race, which has different sub races: the Cloud, Fire, Frost, Hill, Stone, and Storm Giant. And you can all see each of these comes with their own unique spells that they get, like Cloud Giants gets level 1 Gust, Featherfall, and Fog. And for example, the Fire Giants get resistant to fire damage. They get the Ignite Blade, which adds a 1d4 of fire damage to their attacks. So very well thought out for the Half Giant. And there's also the Goliath race, which also has the Clouds Jaunt, Fire Burn, Frost Chill, Hills Tumble, Stones Endurance, and Storms Thunder. And also we got ourselves goblins with different sub races of goblins, with the Dank Wood Goblins and the Fey Goblins. There's also the Tribal Goblins, given the Grow Tag, Lava Step, and Tuk Tuk tribes. So if you're a big fan of D&D, this adds a bunch of goblin races to the game. They all come with their own unique benefits too, and some of them come with like +2 to Constitution and things like that. Then we also got ourselves the Kender, which is like a halfling type race. The other types of halflings, so we have the Ghostwise and the Tall Fellow halflings. It also comes with the Avariel, which is kind of like an angel race. The Cambions, Sirens, which are actually in Baldur's Gate 3 in Act 3, so you've probably seen them already. That's where you get the Wave Mother's Robe, the best base game item. And then also Yuan-Ti Pure Blood, which I know a lot of people really want to see. So again, I'll cover this one near the end just to go over all the races and what they look like, but this is just a fantastic mod for those that are looking to add something new to the game, because it's more races, endless customization with that. So I think that that's really awesome, especially for big fans of Dungeons and Dragons. This just adds a whole lot to the game. Now, another mod that I think is fantastic is the Origin Mirror mod made by Yoon Moon Sik. So this lets you transform your companions and make them look different. Now, there is some issues here with Shadowheart and with Will if he's got the devil horns, because those do an override. So you're not actually able to actually confirm these changes unless Shadowheart has her dark hair. But what's cool about this is you get all these customization options, so you can make the characters look how you want, and these also work with some other mods. Now, not every mod works perfectly with this, but you can see here we got some different hairstyles from a couple different mods here. This is Kay's hair extension, or Kay's hair mod. Then you can even add Astarion's hair to Shadowheart. So it doesn't work with every single hair mod, unfortunately. Like the Tav's hair salon mod won't work with this, as that's a mod from Nexus Mods. But anything from the in-game mod manager will likely have a good chance of working. So you can see here, we can add a whole bunch of different hairstyles to Shadowheart. It really does change how she looks. So this might not be exactly for you, but I know a lot of people really enjoy this mod, myself included, because sometimes you just want to go through the game and make the characters look wildly different just for your own enjoyment. So you can see here, you got lots of different options. You can even change some of the things like eye colors. And this will also, again, use some of the different mods you may have installed, so you can really change the characters. So like if you thought that Gale should have a big long beard like Elminster, you can go ahead and completely change all of that with this mod. So yeah, the customization options are endless. This can really help you fine-tune the characters if you think that one of them just needs a little bit of a makeover. If you're on like playthrough 10, you might be getting sick of Gale's face but still want to have him around. Then you can make him look like Elminster. So yeah, this mod I think is fantastic just for all the fresh customization you can do. Now, there are some issues with it. I'm just going to bring these up while we're on the topic of this mod. So it won't work on any of the non-origins, so like Minsk, Jahara, Halson, Minthara won't work on them. They're not considered origins, so potentially we'll see a mod in the future that allows that, but for right now, it's unfortunately not possible. It also will crash at times, like I can't actually bring Karlach or Astarion to it, or else it crashes my game. So that's not for everyone, that's just for me. I've had people say that Shadowheart will crash their game, so depends on what other mods you have installed. It could cause some issues, but I think that this mod's really nice just because, yeah, you got full reign on customization of your companions, and I know a lot of people really do enjoy that. So this mod's got 600,000 downloads, made by Yoon Moon Sik. It's pretty great. Now into the next one. This is actually going to be a group of mods. So this is the Better Hotbar 2 mod by Kates and Vova2112. Now this mod makes the bar stretch a lot larger. So you can see here just below my head, this fills up the entire screen. Now what's nice about that is it just gives you more real estate for your spells. So especially if you got like modded class that offer a bunch of spells, you can fully customize how this looks. It just stretches along very nicely and sorts things. Like you got your passives here and you got your different abilities like the sorcerers, meta magics. Now I also really do like pretty much every one of Kate's mods. So they got the better inventory UI, better target info, better top bar, clear map, better tooltips, better context menu. So what those all look like. So you can see here when I target a character, it shows like Shadowheart has a weakness to psychic damage because I got the Resonance Stone right now. So at a glance, you can see everything that the targets are going to be weak to or strong against, making it easier for you to do your damage. Also, the better top bar when you get into combat will hold more targets on the top bar. And then also the clear map, it just makes the maps a lot more clear looking. Doesn't have the cloud of fog or the fog of war on it. Better tooltips whenever you go into the inventory. It's just going to give you a better tooltip. It'll highlight different things with like yellow to really emphasize the main points of it. Better context menu. Whenever you right click, you'll see it has better context there, so you can even send it to your companions that aren't with you currently. Also, we got mods like better containers, better inventory UI, better dyeing. This allows you to use your dyes infinitely. These all are just like UI mods. Better hotbar 2 being my favorite. Dynamic sidebar, mod manager fixes, which I use, and their fixes and tweaks. Better minimap, damage preview, better trade. Press any button to bypass the menu. I have every single one of these mods installed. I think they're all pretty great. And Yeah, so whenever you're getting into different mods like the sidebar here, what's nice about this is if you're using the mod that adds more party members, like if you wanted to go with like 12 party members, it'll actually fit them better along here. And you also got a little hide UI button, so you can hide each of these here, the mini map, the sidebar, and the hotbar. I just think that that's great because this game is gorgeous. I want to be able to see all my characters, and it'll appear if you mouse over it too, which is pretty nice. There were mods previously on Nexus mods that did this, but they are currently broken, so this is the alternative, and it works very well. So yeah, this isn't really that's more than 10 mods just in this alone, but we're just going to consider them one because they just, all of them together, I can't go without them. Kate's done a fantastic job with this, so yeah, just want to highlight that, and it just makes the game so much better. Now, another mod that makes a huge difference is Fade's equipment distribution mod. So this mod adds 380 new mods and items into the game. They're all very well balanced. I actually have a video that I'll link in the description where I covered every single one of these. So there's a lot of items. They all feel like they could fit perfectly within Baldur's Gate 3 without being too broken. Now, they just released a sorcerer version of this as well, so there's a lot more mods there. But yeah, it's amazing. If you really want to see all the items, I will link that in the description. And you can see here, we got like the wands and the weave for the wizard, the beast and the bow for the ranger, the might and metal for the fighter, the unarmed and upgraded for the monk, the veil and venom for the rogue, the faith and fortitude for the cleric, the rage and resilience for the barbarian, the pact and power for the warlock, the grove and growl for the druid, song and steel for the bard, the chaos and control for the sorcerer, the gifts of the absolute is another one that's great if you went with the absolutes branding. And they also have some other mods, and there's even mods that'll put every single item in the tutorial chest. I love this mod because, as I covered in that video where I go over every single item in this game, it actually feels like these items could fit within Baldur's Gate 3 without being, you know, like out of place. They aren't brokenly overpowered. Some of them are very strong, but there's also base game items that are very strong too. And there's a lot of items that are just kind of weak. Now, what Fade's equipment distribution does with all of this is this mod will actually inject them into different locations in the game. So kind of similar to the random loot mod. The random loot mod just randomizes things and puts things in new places. This mod will put in new items into specific spots that they've selected. So when you download it, you're going to see these new items. It's almost like a DLC for the game. That's just how good of a mod that Graphic Fade has made. So this is definitely one of the most game-changing mods, and it's got almost 1 million downloads now for good reason. The items are fantastic, and I just have to put a highlight on this one just because of how good this mod really is. Now we also got ourselves the Cheater Spell Scroll, formerly the Cheater's Ring, made by Zelphos. Now, what I really like about this mod, I guess it's also made by Lost Soul Man. What I really like about this is it just simplifies a lot of things in the game. So it previously was just a Cheater's Ring, and with the ring, it gave you a bunch of different benefits. So you can see here, like God Mode makes you invincible, plus 500 damage on all attacks. Never critically fail, always critically success. Roll positive adds a plus 20 to your dice. Sets all ability scores to 30. Auto wash. This will make it so you don't get bloody. Adds a minus 40 to all dice rolls. Always critically fail. Toggle the necrotic aura, which lets you just summon unlimited amounts of undead. And then also the anti-magic field, which makes so that no one can cast spells. So that's just from the ring alone. However, there's also a lot more when it comes to what's in the spell mod, which they upgraded this to. So with this, it has the Cheater Scroll here, which got some like the free respec, unlock all waypoints and all the acts, increase improval rating by plus 25, revive all your characters, heal them all as if they took a long rest, Misty Step, which lets you just dash anywhere, same as Dimension Door, and fly. Long Stride increases movement speed by 30 meters. Cheater's Mask Greater Invisibility just gives you full-on invisibility. True Seeing, Cheater's Knock. Knock's a very useful spell. Cheaters Create Water, it's a huge level 10 version of it. Destroy Water, Speak with Animals, Speak with the Dead. Detect Thoughts, plus 20 guidance. Give resistance to all sources of damage with Cheater's Resistance. This gives you 3 more action points and 3 more bonus actions, and gives you plus 30 meters of movement speed. This one gives you all spell slots back. This one's Telekinesis, Cheater's Firebolt. These are all just damage spells that do a ton of damage. You got Chain Lightning, Eldritch Blast, Fireball, Flesh to Stone, Flesh to Gold, Stone to Flesh, turn it back into normal. Then we also got ourselves Hold Creature, Clean Party, Summon Gold, and then all of these mods here, like this one will add all the armor types to the game. So you can summon in a box, it'll have every piece of armor from the base game. Same with the equipment box, the grenade box, all of these. And there's also the tutorial chest spawner. So there is mods that gives you the tutorial chest spawning. This mod also has it. So if you're just wanting that in in general, get this mod. It's going to give it to you. You got a lot of different things here. You can summon in a bunch of different barrels. It's got pretty much everything going for it. So I have to say, this is a very useful mod, especially if you're going to do like a new game plus. You can give yourself all the items that you wanted at the start of the game, and then you can use some of these difficulty mods, which we'll get into here now. So the next one I want to talk about is Tactician Enhance. So with Tactician Enhance, what it does is it gives you the ability to set difficulty. So you can have it be a scaling mode, so every extra team member that you get added will give enemies extra 10% health, and at a certain level they can give them an extra action, extra bonus action, making the game a lot more difficult. And there's also a different scaling mode. There's a lot of different scaling modes. You can set these all to yourself. And then there's also, whenever you increase the party size, there's a static mode, so that no matter how many people you have with you, they're going to have, let's say, 85% more health, 1 additional action, 2 additional bonus actions. So you can set it to increase as you increase your party size, because Pixel Bytes has also made the party adjustable size limit, which lets you increase your party size. I would say this is another mod that's a game changer. I just didn't want to include it on the list because I feel like most people that want something like this will have it downloaded with 2 million downloads. This is a very popular one. But yeah, Tactician Enhance is amazing. I can't say enough good things about this mod, because it just allows you to make the game more challenging, because mods can make this game a whole lot more easy. So this is an awesome mod. It's only got 200,000 downloads compared to the 2 million the increased party size mod does have. So it's kind of evident that people don't really love the difficulty, but I think that's a fantastic way to increase and make your next playthrough much more enjoyable, because it's not fun just going through and just blasting everyone to pieces when you can actually use the gear from Act 3 at the start of the game and actually have the game be challenging. I think that makes it very fun. So just need to put a highlight on this one, because I just don't see a lot of people talking about it too much. But we also got ourselves, this is a cool one. So the Sumer Dagnoth subclass combined. I guess similar to Kate's, this is not just one mod. I'm just bunching all of these together because I couldn't pick one, and I didn't want to do too many class mods because those are game changing, but they're not to the extent of these 4 mods by Sumer Dagnoth. So he's created the 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons Barbarian subclasses, Fighter subclasses, Ranger subclasses, and Monk subclasses combined. So with the Barbarian, this adds in the Ancestral Guardian, the Battle Rager, the Beast, the Juggernaut, and the Storm Herald, and the Zealot. So the Zealot, being like a religious focus one, can add radiant or necrotic damage. Storm Herald can make it so that there's cold or fire and lightning damage in the radius around you, and your team can benefit from that. All of these classes are fantastic. I have a lot of fun with them, especially the Battle Rager, which is literally the Axe Idiot. In addition to this, they also have the Fighter subclasses combined, which brings in the Banneret, which is the Purple Dragon Knight, the Brute, the Cavalier, the Psy Warrior, and the Rune Knight, and as well the Samurai and Sharpshooter. Previously it had the Arcane Archer, but they replaced that with the Sharpshooter. They removed all the classes that'll be coming with patch age. So yeah, this is fantastic. We also got ourselves the Ranger subclass combined, which just released February 11th, so this is a very new one. It's got subclasses like the Fey Wanderer, the Horizon Walker, the Monster Slayer, and the Primeval Guardian. So these are, again, 5th edition's Dungeons & Dragons subclasses that didn't make it into the base game. So it's a lot of fun. I actually really like this mod. And finally, we got ourselves the Monk subclass combined, which you can see here I've covered in some of my videos previously. Love this mod. We got the Way of the Ancestant Dragon mod, which adds elemental damage type to your punches. You got the Way of the Astral Self, which allows you to extend out and create astral arms to punch people. Way of the Kensei, which is a monk that also uses weapons. The Way of the Long Death, which can do a area of effect frighten on targets. The Way of the Mercy, which can punch people to heal them, which is pretty cool. And the Way of the Sun Soul, which adds radiant damage to its attacks. All of these subclasses are fantastic, and I just wanted to bring a bit of a highlight to them because they are hugely game-changing. And I've covered them I've done builds on all of these, or not all of them, but most of them. I'm getting to doing builds for all of them, so you can check those out on my channel if you want to see a little bit more in detail. Fantastic mod. I love it. I also have a video that I broke down every single one of these subclasses, and I'll be posting that in the description as well. Now we also got ourselves this mod, the Extra Encounters mod. So what this does is, as you're exploring through the game, you're going to stumble upon a whole lot of new fights, and it's kind of funny because I've recommended this mod to a lot of people, and some people in my Discord are getting surprised by a lot of these fights because they feel natural to what Larian would have put in the game. Some people are asking, was there an update to Baldur's Gate 3 I wasn't aware of? Because there's some new fights that just feel different. That's exactly what this mod does. So you can see here, like, If you're in Act 2, you can have this giant skeletal dragon fight. You can fight the avatar of Vlaakith here in the astral plane. We got ourselves this aberration in the Underdark. You can fight these forged fires and azures that you can fight outside the Grim Forge. This is a fight at Joaquin's Rest with a bunch of goblins. This is another fight in Act 1, Little John there. And it just adds a bunch of new fights to the game. So if you check out the mod page, this mod was made by Relamod. There's a few different maps, so this can show you all the new mini bosses and encounters that are added to each of the maps, and you just can know where to go to find them. So yeah, it actually adds quite a bit of replayability to the game. I can't play without this mod now just because I enjoy the new fight so much. As someone that really enjoys the combat in this game, this just adds a whole lot more to it, and it's an absolute blast to play through. So they've added more encounters to the game. They've updated to now have Act 3 as of 37 days ago, and they'll be adding more to it. I also want to make a highlight. They also have a mod that adds more enemies to the base game area. So like in Act 1, you can see here the gate at the Goblin Camp will now have 2 ogres, more imps on the Nautiloid, as well as in other areas. So this mod just adds more enemies in general. I prefer the extra encounters, but both of these are great. And they also have an enemies rework mod, which makes their AI work a little bit better, and an XP rebalance to help keep things balanced. So this is just a great group of mods, but my absolute favorite is the extra encounters for those new mini boss fights. Finally, we got ourselves Mistress Spells. Now, Mistress Spells is huge because it adds 132 new spells to the game. This comes from cantrips, so you can get things like Frostbite, Booming Blade, Create Bonfire, Green Flame Blade, Gust, Infestation, Larlock's Minor Drain, Lightning Lure, Mind Sliver, Molder, Prestigitation, Sapping Sting, Sword Burst, Thunderclap. The list goes on and on. This is 132 or 134 new spells to the game, and it's just a complete redo of all the classes. So if you're a big fan of spellcasters, I recommend this one because it's just going to give you some new cool ones. Some of them are redone spells that are already in the game, like Absorb Elements. This is on a cloak. You can get this, it'll reduce the damage for an elemental attack by half, and then you deal additional 1d6 on those attacks. We also got ourselves like Jim's Magic Missile, which isn't guaranteed damage like the normal magic missiles, so can make for some fun new ways to play the game. Some of my favorite spells are Frost Fingers, and once you get to level 3, there's more spells like Snarlik Snowball Storm, Dragon's Breath, Agonizer Scorcher. This is kind of like a thicker version of lightning bolt, but it does fire damage. And then as we continue to level up, you get obviously more and more spells. They all feel like they could be, I mean, they're based on Dungeons and Dragons spells, so they feel like they should fit in Baldur's Gate 3, but I really do enjoy this one. At level 3 spells, however, at level 5, there's one that just really stands out to me as someone that loves cold builds. Tidal Wave, which does, it's basically create water, but it also does 48 of bludgeoning damage and knocks enemies prone. And then you can use a cold spell afterwards to make an ice surface from that. It's crazy. It also has a bunch of different summons, like summons Shadow Spawn. You can summon Fae. You can summon Ancestral Beasts. You can summon in Lesser Demons. You can summon in a Dragon. It has a lot going on with it. So I said to highlight this one at the end. I know a lot of people, there's 1.4 million downloads of Mr. Spells, but 134 new spells. Random Killa has done a great job with this mod. It just offers so much more to the game. So yeah, this is one of the most game-changing mods in Baldur's Gate 3. So let me know which of these mods you think is the most game-changing in the game, and hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an incredible day, and I'll see you all in the next video.